Okay, I think we're live.
Hey, let me just get my screen up and
Maybe I should do an intro. So this is group 5 again. We've got Colin and Mike here, and Colin's going to talk about CSS transformations, transitions, and animations with JavaScript triggers.
okay, so let's go look at it first, and then I'll show what I did. But just continuing on with my building of the same thing. So this footer is oh, that's my class stuff. Never mind, we'll do that later. So I have this thing up here at the top that just looks like a T, but it once I start clicking on stuff, it'll start moving. If it's wrong, if the answer's wrong, the screen turns red. The answer's right. No, actually, that didn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work the first time, and I haven't figured out why. But transition stuff works. So, turn it green.
Turns green. Yeah.
And turn red if it's wrong. It turns the text color also, depending on whether it's right or wrong.
So this looks like this is what your final project's going to be, right? It looks like you're just building on that week by week, right?
We'll see. I might end up being that.
Yeah. I mean, that's super cool if you can. I'm starting to get some ideas of what I want to do for a final project, and it would be a lot better to be able to build on it week after week instead of trying to cram it all in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's looking really good. I can see so many of the elements that we've worked on already in here. So I think you're in pretty good shape.
So on this little turning deal, there's a transform and animation, and let's see. So it does rotate, and it shifts it. I guess I haven't gotten any of the stretch or scaling stuff in yet. But it's just another function that does from the same.
That's just you challenging yourself, right? That's not like it's required you have to use all those elements, or is it?
I don't know. I just used a bunch of them when I've done it. So.
And so that's all triggered with CSS because of your mouse clicks, right?
Yeah. Well, clicking buttons and.
Yeah. Everything I've done so far is just with a mouse over action, so it doesn't really use JavaScript. So I'm curious how you did that with JavaScript.
So you look at the CSS file first. As you do your animation and stuff, so there's some transform. The animation, you can pause it when you create it. So I created the animation, gave it a variable name, and then you can use that variable name here to set what it does. So it goes from this color to this color, from left to right, or from left to farther left.
Right.
And it transitions and rotates, transforms and rotates.
But yeah, by starting it in a paused state, then it waits for that triggering action.
Yeah, so, and then so this just sets it back, pauses it. Spread this out a little bit. I'll pause it again and the transition back. Then when I get the question, so I get the question.
Yeah, you're reaching out to that API to get the question and answer info, right?
Yeah, so let's see. So yeah, so when I want it to change, then I come in here. I do this change CSS, and I get a variable for the doc stuff, and then change it to green if it's a correct answer, and red if it's a wrong answer, and then I unpause stuff. I run it.
Yeah. And that line right there, so that actually reaches into the CSS code and updates that element. Do I
Yep.
understand that right?
Yep. Just like if you had um, a text color that was set in the CSS file, you could control that from here also. It'd just be a style and then
Yeah.
font or color.
And yeah, so it's all referenced through the ID of the HTML object, and then just through the style property, and then the name of the CSS attribute, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so the on click, or I don't know if that's the action that you're using to trigger it, but that's what I was thinking. It's an on click action. Can you show me how you do that?
Yeah, I have an on click and an on load. That's over here. So at the beginning, the on click just clears everything, and it also sets the CS. So
Clarify what's an on load.
so when the page loads, it'll
Okay.
execute that.
Okay. And so why would you need to do that if it's just starting? Wouldn't it be clear already anyway?
Uh, should be.
Or is that just a way to be clean about it? I don't know.
See what all I do in there. I'm getting too much code in here to look it up quick.
That's just a curiosity more than anything.
Okay.
Um,
I just
so,
it doesn't look like I. Oh, part of it is I'm clearing like session storage.
oh,
So I'm
right.
making sure those numbers are clear before I start.
Okay, makes sense. So then, which click
And
action is it that triggers those animations?
so the onload will put the color back. The which I probably don't need to set that one either. I was kind of playing with stuff here.
Uh-huh.
But the get question on click will load the question, and I guess that's just for the question. Sorry. And then it's so you don't see them here, but when I create uh, buttons or the radio buttons,
Uh-huh.
and I do an on click in there.
Oh, as you choose the option, the answer.
Yeah. So for the correct answer, I create a radio and then an on click, and it goes to the change CSS. And that's where I'm changing the background color, starting the rotation of the little deal at the top, and changing the color of the text.
Okay.
So it's in the change CSS function.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, so when you first click the get question button, you it changes the screen a bit too. It makes a space for the question to appear and the answer options. Is that done through CSS, I'm guessing?
When I click the get question, it puts the question up there. Is that what you're?
Yeah, because the screen starts and it's a little condensed, if I remember right. And then you
Yeah.
click get question and it expands and then it creates a space for the question to appear along with the options.
Well,
And
the
it fits that
space is
middle
already
name.
the
Yeah.
space is already created right here. I'm putting it in my question divide.
Uh-huh.
And so there's nothing in it now, so there's no
Nothing to
space
take up any
needed.
space. Right. So you just insert stuff into that divide.
Yeah, so with these attributes, you have to amend the child, and I amend it to question text, which is
Gotcha.
actually the question text is amended to the question divide right here, which I get from this get element by ID, which is from the question divide.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Boy, I guess that's the difference between somebody that is going to be doing this for a living versus the rest of us.
I took this class out of order. I mean, I took taken two other Java classes before this, JavaScript classes. So
Well,
if I don't know something by now, I'm in trouble.
yeah. I guess I stretched mine out a little bit. The first one I took was a couple years ago now. I took 2 Java classes in the last year, but that is a bit different from JavaScript and CSS. So I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
It does help some, but I definitely know where my strengths lie, and this is not one of them.
I didn't like it at first, but it's gotten to where it's easier.
Good. I probably asked already. What language are you going to be using at your job, or are you already
I
using?
use C# the most, but we will be doing some JavaScript and
Okay,
stuff too.
cool. Well, I can do a quick demo of the class manipulation that I did. I just posted another message out there. Oh, did Kachia join us? I think I see her.
Hi guys. I
There
think
you
at
are.
first my mic wasn't working, but I got
Okay.
it to work.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Glad to have you. Well,
Did you see some of that I was showing?
Yeah. I saw all your coding. It looks really good and really advanced.
I know, right?
Just add note every week, so it makes it
Mm-hmm.
like a lot after 6 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever it's been.
See, yeah, I think that's the smart thing to do, and you'll basically have a finished program here in 3 or 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How's yours going, Kachia?
It's going good so far. All the code that I've submitted have been 10 out of 10, so I'm
Good.
glad.
Yeah, cool. So Colin just finished up that particular section. The other one we were slated to work on this week is manipulating class properties.
Mm-hmm.
I can demo that, or if you wanted to, I don't know if you've had a chance to do that, where you could share that video with the instructor.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, and then maybe we can look at our schedule here. The way we originally laid it out is we would be doing, yeah, the class properties manipulation this week and CSS transitions, animations, and transformations. Those were both going to be by Brent, but no luck there. And then next week was going to be JavaScript events, including those for mobile devices, and then also HTML5 tags for video, audio, and canvas. And the way we originally outlined it was that Colin would do the first one of those, and that Kachia, you would do the
Yeah.
HTML5 piece. So if that's still okay for next week, then I think that's
Yeah,
great.
it is.
Well, then maybe just for a quick minute, I'll share my screen and go through real quick what I did for class properties manipulation.
Okay.
Let's see. One. All right, so first of all, just show it in action. Oh, these are my animations. Not quite as pretty as what you've got going on there.
Wow.
But let's see, so class properties. So I took one of my forms from a previous week and modified it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, so using this button to create another button on the form, it also adjusts the title, the heading, and then this makes the first button disappear. And then I can click the new button that was created, which will hide this text, and then also changes the, nope, I guess it doesn't change the color of anything. Is that right? Yeah. What I liked about that, so what I did the previous week, actually I'll refresh here for a second. Clicking this button in my previous example would just create multiple buttons, button after button after button. But by making it disappear itself, then I don't have a problem with the user potentially clicking it over and over again and creating a whole bunch of these click me buttons. So that was, I don't know, that was important to me. And then the next one is to create a new paragraph, and again, makes itself disappear, changes the color of this one, and then creates the new paragraph. Yeah. And then the last one is just adding another item to that list, and then it changes the color. It's a little subtle. It's a green color now. But those were my examples of manipulating those class properties. And it wasn't all that difficult. I'm sure you guys haven't struggled with it much either. You just have to have all your items created in the body of your HTML. And I got myself a little confused with all the hiding and visible, making things hidden and visible. Sometimes I got things a little backwards, so I had to make sure I was clear on which ones to hide and which ones to make visible at each stage of my progression. But after getting all those built in there, then it was just a matter of linking each button click to a function and setting the attributes of those HTML elements. So I think you guys are all been through all that. So that really was a lot of it, just grabbing the right element, using the get element by ID, setting the style. In this case, a lot of it is visibility, whether hidden or not. And then, yeah, using a variable to set those attributes. And so that's pretty much it.
All right.
Good.
Sounds like you guys have already done all that for yourselves anyway, so I don't know if there's any questions I can answer that you probably haven't already figured out on your own. But okay, well, at least we got the three of us together, so I think we're all set for next week. Do we want to still do the same time, same day?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I will load up this recording and send it out and send out another meeting invite, and we will go for another round.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right,
Thanks.
guys.
Thank you
Good to
so
see you.
much.
Have a good night. We'll see you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.